that story was so powerful, because how many times have you just been with your friends or just been with a family member, and you've been talking about the goodness of God, or believing in God for some things, and the people around you are just like, shut up, like, whatever, be quiet, like, you just keep talking about God and all this stuff, and I don't think that you're going to get it. But Bartimaeus knew who Jesus was. He had a lot of faith in him, and he knew that if he could get close to him, or if he could get Jesus' attention, that he would be healed. So it's not necessarily saying that he was begging for money, but he was begging Jesus for what he knew Jesus could do for him. And that's the same way with the poor and homeless. They are calling out to Jesus when we're not around. They're calling out to God for things, and God is sending us. He sends us because we are his helpers. We are his people. We ask to be used by God, and then when he uses us, we don't even pass the test, because we so busy thinking in our own way, and we're not thinking in the ways of God. Our ways are not our ways are not God's ways, and our thoughts are not God's thoughts. So you never know. You just never know who you're entertaining. You never know if that's one of God's angels coming to test you. You never know if this person really needs this money. You never know if they're really depending on you for their next meal. You just never ever know. So I pray for you all that, we'll never have another mindset like that, that we'll never prejudge, and that if we have it to give, it doesn't matter what they do with it, as long as we gave it, and as long as we were obedient to what God's word says, because he says that he wants us to lend to his people, that he wants us to take care of the poor, and to give them food, and to give them clothes and shelter, and anything that we can give them, he wants us to give them whatever it is that they need. And when you do that, God takes care of you. As long as your motives are right, as long as your mindset is right, whatever your mindset is, God already knows about it. So you just want to start helping people. You want to just give back as much as you can, and just be there for God's people, because whenever you needed something, God sent somebody. So just keep that in mind. So I thought that this was very powerful. It was definitely something that has been on my mind for a while to talk about. Especially because one day recently I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me a story about how she was in DC, which she's not really familiar with the area, but she was in DC, and there are a lot of homeless people in DC, unfortunately, and she was riding down, and got to a light, and came to a light, and when she stopped at the light, the homeless person came to her, and she said she rolled up her window. And she was like, I really felt bad once I got through the light. I was like, why did I roll up the window? And she was like, she just so used to doing that. And so we talked about it, and I was like, well, you got to start giving, especially if you have it to give. And she was like, I know. I immediately felt convicted, and I just thought about going back, and then I just kept going. And, so we were just having general conversation about it. And I'm just glad that I can be the person that can encourage people to do the right things. And hopefully, one or two things that I said to her might have stuck with her. And so now she'll feel better about giving. But yeah, guys, we can't be those people that feel like, well, I'm not giving them anything because I don't know what they're going to do with it. We can't be those people that have that mindset, because we just never know what God is going to do through us, and how we can definitely help somebody get their next meal. And I mean, there's been plenty of times I've given money to strangers and homeless people, and they've just been so grateful. Like one man, he just kept saying it, like, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. And it gets me so emotional, because it just makes me feel like I'm definitely helping people. Because I don't want to just always get. And I think back over like my career, my hair in the hair industry, how I have just been getting so many tips left and right. Like lately, my tips have just been ridiculous. And that really makes me want to give more. Because I'm like, if these people already pay a certain amount to get their hair done, If they can go above and beyond and be tipping me $50, $60, $75, sometimes $100, if they can tip me that, why can't I just give to the poor? I'm not poor. So definitely I need to give back to those that really need it more than me, because God has taken care of every single need that I've ever had. I've never went without food. I've never been hungry. I've never went without a roof over my head. Like, I've never been in a shelter. Like, I have never slept in my car. And I'm just so grateful to the God that we serve, to our Father that has kept me. And so why would I ever withhold what I can give? Why would I ever do that? So that is my new lifestyle, and it's really, really exciting. And I'd be happy to give now. That was one of the things that I prayed about during one of my fasts, is to be more of a cheerful giver, to be a better, generous giver. Just not to just give $2 or $5, but to exceed it every time. So I just pray that this episode blessed you. I'm sorry if I went off on a rant at the end, but I'm so passionate about things that I care about. And I just hope that you would not walk around with poverty in your heart anymore. Even when you have dollars in your pocket, just make sure that you are giving back to something, even if it's I can't think of the word I want to say, like an organization. Even if it's an organization, give back to somebody. Just don't keep everything for yourself. Even if it's clothes. If you know someone that you can lend clothes to, or not lend, but give clothes to, then give them the clothes. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. Not going to hurt you at all. So I love you all. I pray that this episode will bless somebody. And I pray that if you haven't been given, that you will now want to give. And I pray that if you don't, that if you're already given, I pray that God will bless you 100-fold. I pray that you will receive more, just from you giving. And I pray that you give more than you receive. So have a blessed and wonderful week. I love you all, and I will be back here with another episode very soon. I love you guys. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like it, subscribe to it, and share it with all of your friends.